Hey, good night, everyone. So, I am your host, Boricua Angie, and you are listening or watching Thoughts of a Light Skinned Woman. And I have my friend on here tonight, Reggie.
Hey everybody.
I I needed a guy on here because I wanted to get like a guy's perspective or even just my own too, um, about the situation that happened. What's today? Tuesday. I think it happened yesterday or sometime because it happened in the morning about the twin girls somewhere in Park Slope that went to a deli like at 2 something in the morning, and then a situation escalated because a guy guess was just talking to them, and they must have just like said no, rejected him, and from whatever the witness and person who was there was possibly saying that maybe the guy was drunk, and that the friend was the one who said out loud saying too that because he had been drinking. And it's scary that but I'm gonna get into it. But I just know I wanted to talk about because that incident happened, and it's something that I feel like even if it was just this time, it's something that's happened already before, and it's gonna continue happening. So I had to look up the meaning of rejection because there's different meanings to it. So it's
Okay.
like the dismissing or refusing of a proposal, idea, etc. Right? Or it says the spurning of a person's affections. Some people are reluctant to try because they fear rejection. Then I saw one here. It says what it means to reject someone. To refuse to accept. To refuse to accept, use, or believe something or someone. So I'm just like, and the meaning keeps saying the same thing of like what is used, because I was just trying to see, or like I said, what does rejection do to a person? It says several specific emotions arise from the prospect or presence of rejection, including hurt feelings, loneliness, jealousy, guilt, shame, social anxiety, embarrassment, sadness, and anger. And that's the crazy part about that. Um, so I just know I wanted to share a video real quick because, like I said, this is what we women deal with. And there was one lady some years back where she recorded herself walking in New York City, and then all the men, let's go. I'm gonna share it. I'm assuming you should be able to see it. Let me make this a little bit bigger. I think it stopped sharing, right? Because I did put for it to stop. I don't know if you can hear it on that side. but I think I did put. Okay, you can hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I don't know. Did you get to see the video? Because it's funny because I know on my side I put like the screen share. You didn't get to see it, right? Or
yeah, I
okay.
can see it.
So
I know what video you're talking about. Yeah.
you could definitely check it out later. Yeah, it was just like I said about the lady some few years back where she decided to for 10 hours, so like by like 180 men, if I that's what I heard correctly about like being catcalled. But eventually when you get a time, you get a chance and you see the video, the fact of one guy kept walking with her, and even though she was ignoring him, he still kept following her, talking to her, talking about, you don't want to talk to me,
Yeah.
is it because I'm ugly? And then he said, if I give you my number, would you talk to me? And I'm just like, this is the stuff that this is the stuff that as women it sucks, because I was talking about this earlier. This is the stuff as women that we have to go through. And even if this is not just grown women, young girls can go through that, teenagers. It's not just like adult women. It's just like the females just in general, of the things that we have to put up with. It's
Mm.
like, would you guys actually like if women went around looking at you a certain way and catcalling you, and standing in the corner somewhere saying like, yo, I love those great shorts, or can you take off your shirt because like I need a better view. I feel like we probably might, I don't know, I can't say for women, but I'm thinking like, I wouldn't say, like maybe we I feel like maybe we wouldn't say something like that like out loud. We might be thinking about it, but never to the
Yeah.
point of actually like, speaking up on it, because how would
Mm.
that even look? How often do you see women catcalling men and actually just doing the stuff that they do to us? And
Slim
it's
to
just crazy. But like I said, right. So like I said, I decided to do this topic tonight because it wasn't a part of what I was gonna do. But I wanted just to talk about like rejection, um, because it's pretty interesting. Because again, this is not the first time, and like I said, it won't be the first, and it won't be the last. This is stuff that has been going on for years, and just for the fact from that video, like luckily nothing happened to her. She kind of just walked. She can hear what they were saying, but
yeah.
just the fact she just kept walking. Um, it sucks because again, for some women, it doesn't always turn out good.
Mm.
Somebody, you do something like that, they'll be like, "Oh, this bitch don't want to talk to me," and then they'll get followed, or it's just things like that that it just puts you in a place like, what's going on? Like, why does it have to get from that place of, because if somebody's not answering you,
Mm.
that, you know what I mean? It has to get like that. Because I've had a moment where no, I was talking about how if you react to someone, then they think it's okay if you say thank you and you smile. Now they think it's okay that they're going to talk to you, but that's not what you're doing.
Yeah.
Some people will take it as they're trying to be polite in a way, like, okay, thank you, whatever, and then keep it moving. But some will take it as, she did that, she might be interested, and it's just like, where do you get where do you get all of that from just certain things? Like, if she wanted to talk, I feel like, I don't know if people, like, how they say people don't know how to read the room, because I feel like if a person was interested, they would stop and have a conversation, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Most
um
definitely.
but then it's bad, yeah. But then it's bad too if you don't say anything and you don't say thank you to the compliment, you get called a bitch. Like, F you, bitch. You know what I mean? Because you didn't respond or you didn't say thank you. And now they'll be like, oh, now you think you're too good. And it's just like, oh, it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. You don't ever win, whichever way you decide, to do something.
That's true.
So I was trying to, I know I was going to bring it up because I'm like, I know, oh, I remember I knew I was going to bring up a story. So, an example of that for myself, what happened was I was taking the bus, and I think this could have been the bus when I was going to go on my cruise, when I was going to Florida for the cruise that I did last year in August. And there was a guy, I didn't know what he was selling, but then I found out he was selling like the cords for the phones and stuff. So
Mm.
I sat in the back because that's where my seat was. And So when he approached me, you know how you have moments when you see somebody and you're thinking like, damn, do I know them? Do they know
Yeah.
me? So so when he approached me, I was just kind of like, I was like, do we know each other? So I had to say that because you had to hear how he said it and how he made it seem like I must have knew him, but maybe I forgot, and I thought I was gonna tell him like, "Can you help me like where I know you from?" So he didn't
Yeah.
like the fact that because I asked the question instead of going with the flow of it, all of a sudden it turned into, "Oh, don't worry, I wasn't talking to you like that. I got like three women anyway. I don't need it." And I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Where? Why was that response? What was the whole point of that? Like, I didn't even say it wasn't even for all that in the first place." I
Mm.
just wanted to know if we knew each other. And I feel like I have a right to say that because it's like
Yeah.
you're not trying to have a conversation. Because I know that's what he was trying to do, but I guess he didn't like again that I wasn't going with the flow and feeding into it. So now because I'm trying to ask and question like, oh, do we know each other? Who are you? It's just kind of like, oh, like, yeah, I luckily it was on a bus and there were other people, but in my head it was like, because then after that I felt like he was kind of getting an attitude. In my head it's like, yo, in my head it's like, just sell your little phone cords and just get off the bus because now I can see how women feel and you know that's a sucky feeling of somebody who you're not entertaining. Now they're getting a damn attitude and you're just kind of like, what are you supposed to do now? But luckily,
Exactly.
again, like I said, he's going to be on the bus and I'm glad he got off because I could already see how he was. And it's just like chill. I wasn't
Yeah.
going to even talk to him anyway. Like he had nerve. I mean, to the people out there who have confidence and their egos and it is what it is. Sometimes, some people are not bad looking, just
Yeah.
something, I'm fine, I get it. But the fact that he thought that I was like gonna just talk to him just because he says something, it's just like, no, you're crazy. I
Yeah.
don't have to speak to you. And just because if I did speak to you does not mean that I'm interested. There's nowhere in the conversation that would say anything that I was interested. And I guess he took it as like she's asking me something instead of just like, no, you're crazy. That's crazy stuff. I don't even know whether to
Yeah.
call that psycho. I need to know. That's why I wanted people to like comment. I gotta eventually look on Facebook.
Yeah.
Um, but I wanted people to comment. I really want to know what that's about. Like, I mean, I've read what it said about rejection and the feelings and the emotions that people go through, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like I've been there. I guess I can say maybe I've been embarrassed because I try to ask somebody and then I got rejected. So it's like, damn, it's kind of embarrassing because it's like you put yourself out there and somebody's just like, nah, I'm not interested. Get it? I'm embarrassed. I've been embarrassed, but never to the point of like now I want to hurt someone. I want to
Yeah.
curse somebody out and be like, who the F do you think you are to
Mhm.
reject me? Never, you know what I mean? Never to that point. It's always
Yeah.
just more of an embarrassed feeling because I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna see if the person's interested or just ask. And
Yeah.
I've been rejected, and yeah, again, it's more of an embarrassing feeling, but never to the point of ever wanting to hurt someone. Like
Exactly.
that's just a little bit too much. But as a guy, tell me because I don't know. I mean,
I
like I
mean,
said, I feel like it's always been a thing where men. I don't I like I can't speak for women because I don't have nobody on here, but I could speak for myself. But I
mhm.
just want to know like what's that about? Like,
It's a ego thing. It's a pride, So, and especially if you put yourself out there to make the first step and like, hey, how you doing? My name is so and so. You know, what's your name and all that, and then you get rejected. Like, no, it's okay. I got a man, or no, I'm not interested. That really puts a real mental hurt on a man because he's making himself like he feel like he making himself look foolish. You know what I mean?
man,
So as far as there's really guys out there with real like big pride in themselves and real big egos. So I can see that if a man gets rejected by a woman that he likes or whatever, he can probably get up to that point where he wants to like fuck that bitch or get angry and get resentment and like really try to do harm. That's not me. I'm not like that. But some men are just have big egos that what happened. You know, but most guys, like guys that I know some guys that have big egos, but they'll get mad at her, like, hey, fuck that bitch or whatever, blah blah blah. Just like it's not interested in you. You know what I mean? Like there's other, like I said, there's other fish in the sea. You can always try it with some other chick. So, but it hurts. I've been rejected plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you find out she's single and she's not with nobody and she's looking for a relationship too, and then you get the courage to step up to her and be like, hey, how you doing? I've been into you. What's going on? What's good? And then she rejects you. That really hurts it hurts your ego. That hurts your soul. It makes you want to hide and all that. You know what I mean? So for us men, it's like more of a pride thing. You know what I mean? So it really gets to us. I I may say it may we get more. It hurts more for a man than a woman. I would say. So it's crazy. But like men like that get like want to do physical harm on a woman or want to, curse a woman out just because she rejected him, that's on another level. That's like, I think that that man hasn't got any love from a woman that's in the past, or it could be a mother or a female figure in his life that didn't love him enough. So he's looking for that love for someone else, that attention. So that could be it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it could be a number of factors of why a man would do such a thing to a woman just because he got rejected.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I feel like everything I feel like everything in this world is like can we call it like a psychological thing, like a generational trauma thing, because I feel like even besides that, those things are always brought up for everything else, for like how a man treats a woman, how people act, whether if they're men and women. It's always stemming back to their way of being brought up. If
Yeah,
there was a male role model, or like you said, if there was a mom, and how was she with her child, and it's just crazy that all of that plays a factor in just a lot of things besides just that, and it's just pretty sad.
it is.
It sucks because like you and I have talked about it. um Again, nobody's never really talked about that back then, about like look into getting therapy, try to get yourself together, understand that whatever happened and in your childhood and you growing up, that wasn't your fault, you know what I mean, that had nothing to do with you, you know what I mean. But a
Yeah,
lot of things that you see is things like that won't be explained to you, because who's going to explain it to you? um but I feel like that would have played a big part of how I think half of the world would be if something like that was brought up, like it's like, I think you should seek some sort of counseling or therapy, you know what I mean, because you've been through a lot. And or just like positive people out there to like role models, or somebody to just be like uplifting and talk about real
yeah,
life stuff and explain things how it is. But again, it just sucks because, like I said, this is something that's going to continue to happen.
yeah.
um it sucks because I feel like it's not going to go away. And just like you said about the ego, the pride, and it's just sad that it has to be all that, and that people need to learn that, what, everybody a person is just not for everybody. And
Exactly.
then with the way the world is, you just can't just strike up a conversation with just everyone and anyone, because again, you don't know if they're like having any mental issues.
Exactly.
If this is somebody who's talking to you and they're just trying to see if I need a new home, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna see if I can get her attention. You know what I mean? It's so many
That's
things of reasons of why you still have to be cautious of who you're talking to out there. So when people are getting mad, They're not really looking at the bigger picture. Be like, oh, she might think I'm crazy. That's why she ain't talk to me, or whatever. But
Yeah.
nobody's thinking about that stuff. They're just thinking about like what the guy said. He was like, it's because I'm ugly, or some people think that they're so good looking
Yeah.
that it's like, oh my god, the sun is in my eye, that they think that they think that somebody saying no to them or rejecting them, it's just like, like what you said, it's like, how dare you, how
Yeah.
dare you say no to me? And then that whole start, like, do you know who I am? Do you know what I got? You know how much oh my gosh, it's crazy.
And I
um
know, and I know it's like scary for y'all women to like, be alone and walk, let's say, walk in the street or, going on the subway or something. And like, yeah, guys are hitting on you and you don't know what their intentions are. And you know what I'm saying? They could be a little aggressive with their pickup lines and trying to, get you or whatever. So I know it should be. It's terrifying. You don't know how guy is, and he may be a psychopath or whatever. So yeah, I know it's real dangerous. It's real scary. For young women out there. You know.
no, it is. And even before that whole incident happened, that it happened this week, I was just kind of like, I've been in this thing where I'd be having my AirPods, and it's funny because people are always talking to me. I don't know. I must have the face of, the friendly, approachable face. Because even if I might be all mean, my New York mean look, that in the streets, just walking around like, yeah, like I got somewhere to go. Don't bother me.
Yeah.
Somebody always wants to talk to me. And there were moments where I caught people actually saying something nice, nothing crazy, complimenting. Like one time, some lady complimented me, like she was looking at dead in my face. Because at first I'm kind of like, what's going on? And then I had to hear what she said. She was like, yo, she's like, that perfume you're wearing smells really good. Fine. Then one time I was on the bus, and again I said, luckily the music wasn't on, and then the guy was just like saying, he was like, "Oh, I really like your hair." So it's things like that, simple stuff, cool, like that. Just
Yeah.
give a compliment, keep it moving. It's to the point
Yeah.
that it's just like, it's nice, thank you, and it doesn't have to go anywhere from that. If you see something that's, compliment and keep it moving.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that what I've been doing is that depending where I'm at, like in my neighborhood, I just went and I had my AirPods on, and I actually had the music on. I didn't want to care. I didn't want to take a moment of like, I didn't want to hear what nobody had to say. Because when you're walking, and how they call, like, the peripheral vision of like when you can kind of see,
Yeah.
see. So I'm passing by and I see a whole bunch of guys, but I'm kind of like, I feel like they're stairs, but sometimes that could just be like, you think they might be where maybe they weren't, but I was just like, I'm gonna look in that direction. I'm not gonna lower my sound because I don't want to hear if they're saying hello, hey, whatever. I don't care. I'm just
Yeah.
walking, and I'm just gonna keep doing whatever, like that. So
Mm,
it's stuff like that where I'm just like, that's where I've gotten to that point of like, I could pass by a group of guys, and I'm just like, no, there is no talking to me. Like, I have a right to not want to say anything, and I'm going about my business. That's it. That's what it is. We're going about our business. We're walking in the street where we have a right to do that.
yeah.
And it's just kind of crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It really is. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with trying to, hit a woman, basically, flirt with a woman and all that, and there's nothing wrong with it. But if she says no, or you're not getting any play with it, you're not getting any, you know, uh, reaction towards her, and she's like kind of, get out of my way type stuff, then just leave. Don't be aggressive with it. Don't try to, do a little more, whatever. That means that she's not into you, try it on somebody else. So yeah, just guys don't know when to quit. You know what I mean? They don't want to lose. That's the thing. It's like a sport. You know, see how many girls how many numbers a guy can get. You know what I mean? How many girls he can pick up in a day or whatever. It's a sport for them, for us. So when guys do that, they, like I said, they're not trying to lose. So they're trying to rack up as much as they possibly can, and all that. So, but Yeah, if a girl's getting aggressive, is like, no, get away from me and all that. Yeah, just get away. Especially if you're in New York. You New York, there's millions of other women you can try that try that
But
else on. You know what I mean?
interested. But again, if it's true, it's messed up. If somebody's intoxicated, you don't really
Yeah,
want to talk to a drunk person because
yeah,
you don't know how that conversation is gonna go. They might not even remember you the next day. And like, what are you really supposed to be doing? Like, you're the sober one and they're drunk. Like, how would
yeah,
that conversation? You know what I mean? How would that conversation even work?
yeah,
But it's just crazy because in my head it's like, is this like imprinted in the DNA? Because I know that this happened many years and centuries, even back then, where we just, because I'm just like, this has to be like imprinted somewhere,
yeah,
or because of what people have done and shown about how it is that it's kind of like now there's other people doing the same thing, like, oh, nobody can reject me and this and
yeah,
that. Because I be just looking at stuff like, does everybody read the same manual? Are we like, is half of the world going through like generational trauma? Like, it's something, you know what I mean? Like, it has to be something. Like, are we all going through the same thing of
yeah,
what we're lacking? And this is how half of the people are out there. And again, it's mostly the men. And again, it's true, it's okay to give a compliment, fine. Like that lady, you saw it. She's
yeah,
getting compliments as long as nobody tries to touch her. That, and that's the whole point too. People could give compliments. You could say whatever you want from the distance, like, "Wow, you look good. You look beautiful in that dress." Whether she
mm,
wants to comment or not, she wants to say thank you or not. That's her choice. As long as it's the whole point of the like the not touching part. That's the
yeah,
thing about that too. It's just like, why does it have to go to that point of wanting to touch someone, violate someone? Like, why?
yeah.
So
No point.
that's
No
just
point.
always the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like I said, I haven't been, besides that guy on the bus, but I don't really feel like I've ever been in a situation where I felt like, you know what I mean, like I had to get somebody else involved or whatever, because because like I said, I'll get the compliments. I might say thank you, or I might smile and just keep it moving. It's not
yeah,
even for all that of
yeah.
so.
I I would say the only way I could say guys can get leeway on the situation is if like a female's out, shirt, titties all out, ass hanging out her shorts, showing, then the guy's like, okay, okay, and then he's hollering and all that, and she's rejecting him, and then he's like, damn, she's rejecting me, you know what I mean? Like, she got all her shit out and all that. I'm thinking that, she wants me to see it, you know what I mean? But, she's rejecting me, and I can understand a guy can get mad about that, you know what I mean? But yeah, if somebody who's just like, a woman that's dressed proper and just going about her business, and then you're trying to holler and she rejects you, and you're still trying to put an effort into getting her number, then yeah, you're going too far. You know.
Right, even that part. Thanks for bringing that up because summer's around the corner,
Yeah.
and we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of that. But I think it's gotten to the point too where it's the same, and the same thing and the same rules apply. I think somebody was saying that a woman could be with her titties out, but it don't still mean that you got to go over there and touch her. You know what I mean? That's the
True.
whole thing too. I feel
Yeah.
like it's like a temptation type of urge thing, because it's just like, yeah, she's got her boobs out, but it doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you can touch her. It's just that whole thing of like what they be saying, like people should be able to dress how they want,
Mm.
and it doesn't mean that you just get to go and, like I said, I'm gonna keep saying the word, like you get to go and violate them or touch them in any type of appropriate way, because it's not okay.
Yeah.
Same things, if I'm correct, happen at clubs and stuff like that because of how women dress. They think, oh, she's just like you said, she's here. Look at how she's showing off. But it's like it's one of those things, like just because she looked like that, it's like you never thought about it. She looks good. She feels good. She wants to wear that. Yes, I
Mhm.
know in the world that we live in, the reality is some women will do things because they know what they're doing, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that you're going to disrespect just because
Yeah.
I totally get it. But it's just, yeah, it's just a lot of things when you really start looking into it, of like just certain things. It's like, yeah, she could have pum pum shorts, and it don't matter, you just don't go think you're supposed to go just grab her butt because you think you can. Like, no. And that's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Um, because I do remember that happened to me one time. That was like years ago, and I think it was
Mm,
probably before I had my son, my first one.
mm,
And I was in the club, and I was just standing there, and then somebody just grabbed my ass, and I look back, and I'm like, and I don't think it was anybody that I recognized, but it was just the whole point of like, you see what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that? And then
mm,
everybody's just standing there like mad serious. So it's like I couldn't blame anyone because they were all looking out for each other. Like nobody
mm.
was really gonna be like, yeah, it was him, or they were just all standing there like, yeah, it wasn't me, so I can't. Nobody's gonna say like, yeah, it was this dude right here, and it'd
Of
be
course,
shit like that. So it's just kind of crazy.
it is.
I keep saying the word crazy because that's all I can think of. Yeah, it's just it's really messed up. Like I feel bad. Like that whole situation. Again, those were twins.
Mm,
She now doesn't have a twin anymore. And my mom was saying like, with twins have like that special connection, that special bonds, and now, you know, it's not gonna be the same. And
yeah.
for the fact of, like I said, she was telling me, or what I was hearing is that they were in there. They were actually nice enough to at least lock the door of the store, and then they waited. But I don't. When they say waited, I was like, I don't know what's the time frame. Like it could have been a few minutes. Was it like more? Nobody knows. But just for the fact that he was out there waiting. He was out there waiting until finally the doors open, and then it was just like that's scary.
Yeah. Definitely.
Really scary.
That is. Yeah. And like I said, that's really, really terrifying time for y'all women to be out there, and you don't know who can come up to you. Like I said, stalkers. I noticed like a lot, especially celebrities, like celebrity guys that's hiding at an actress's house and trying to go through her house, and yeah, it's really scary, for y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's yeah. I think after pretty much after COVID, like everybody's so used to being inside, but when they go outside, they just feel free and they just feel like want to go out and just go crazy. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is. It's sad. It's sad, and yeah, like I said, if us men were more prone to like accept like therapy and go to talk to somebody, I think it'll be less of those incidents will happen. But like us guys are like I said, it's a pride thing. Like, oh, I don't need to go talk to nobody. I don't need to go to a doctor. You know what I mean? So it's like a pride and the ego thing. If we could knock that out the way and we say, yeah, I think I do need help. I think I feel lonely and I just don't know how to talk to women. And I want to be in a relationship with a woman. You know, I don't know how to go about it. If they talk to somebody, talk to a counselor or therapist, I think all those incidences would not happen as much. You know.
You know what is a good point that you're saying? Maybe there should be classes for things
Yeah.
like that. Maybe
Yeah.
they should start having posters and billboards that are talking about like, rejection is okay.
Yeah.
I'm serious, like things like that, because it's sad that we have to keep putting things out there in order for people to get the idea or get the hint, like MTA, right? MTA
Mm,
has this thing called like courtesy counts, where they have to put to the writers of, this is what you're not supposed to do. If you're taking up a seat with your bag, don't take the bag off the seat. Or if
yeah.
you see someone standing, elderly or pregnant, please offer the, like, things like that. They have to now put pictures and put sayings for people to get the idea. So it's kind of like maybe the same thing has to happen here, like a board saying like rejection is okay.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, or we're not always meant for everybody, or everybody's not gonna, how to be saying like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. It's
Yeah.
like, it is what it is. Like I said, I've been rejected. I'm still here. I'm not, having of like, damn, I gotta go beat these guys up who freaking rejected me. Again, for myself as a woman, it's I've been embarrassed, I've been hurt, but never to that extent. And it sucks that I feel like that's how men should feel too. But then it
Yeah,
sucks too because I've noticed that there are people that if they are around a crowd or if they're with somebody else, it's like, damn. So, you know what makes it worse is that the other person that they're with doesn't make it any better. So, because if they do get to hear that they got rejected, they were like, oh, like that's type
yeah,
of thing, like you're back in school. So, it's like, of course, you're hyping it up, you're
mhm,
making it worse because in my head, it's like, do they feel like they probably look better than their friend that they never gotten rejected? Because I need to know how many people have never gotten rejected, and then that's why they're so cocky. And if their friend does get rejected, or they know they're gonna get rejected, now they want to make a silly ass comment. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that doesn't kind of help because now you're embarrassing your friend, and now depending on the person again, because every guy's not like that, but it's like you're embarrassing your friends, so now they feel like they gotta do something or they gotta say something, and I'm
yeah,
like, that's not cool because it shouldn't be a joke. Nobody should be making a joke about that because look how things, you know what I mean? Like look how far things can escalate because of that. Cuz I've
yeah,
seen things like that and I'm just like that's crazy.
yeah,
Like, why would you make a joke about it because somebody rejected them? It's like that's not funny. You should be there to be supportive or give, say like, nah, you know what I mean? Say something like, I don't think she was for you or whatever, or maybe I don't think, something that it wouldn't
yeah,
have to be to the point where now it's a damn joke because it's not a joke. It shouldn't be a
yeah.
joke.
Yeah,
So
like I said, it's a competition thing. It's like if you're around your boys, you want to look good, in front of your boys. So you trying to, holler at them. And if you get rejected, you're going to get embarrassed. Or your friends are going to look at you and, laugh and criticize you. Yeah, that's going to hurt your feelings. And then, yeah, you're going to have resentment towards that woman who rejected you, you know? So that's another thing. And I've seen videos of that, of like dudes just hanging out, and then the girl walk by, then the dude trying to holler and all that, and she's not going like, yo, fuck you, bitch, because he's trying to look all tough in front of his boys. But it's not helping, like I said, the friends ain't helping either. You need to like, nah, chill, man. Like, she ain't do nothing wrong. She don't like you, she don't like you, it's plenty other women. But yeah, that's a big part of it too. It's like that mob mentality of trying to competition, see who could bag the most girls and shit like that. So, you know,
that
it,
part too, you're absolutely right. The whole competition, and I'm like, damn, a situation like that should never be. It should never be a competition. You know what I mean? Of who can get who because I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's true that people have done things like that where they'll talk to each other, especially guys, where we're just like, yo, you think you can bag that one right there, and
yeah,
see if you can talk to her. But I was just like, that's crazy. Because
yeah,
there comes that part where you talk about like now when they get rejected, now what? Now they're embarrassed in front of their boys, and guess what? They're laughing or they put money on it, and it's just like these type of things. I would love to know if the world and things were reversed, how would men feel? Like if it came to the point that we women, and then the part that kills me is just that they're talking about us women that we're so aggressive and how we're given all this like male, you know what I mean, like this whole male energy. But it's just like, come on, after everything that's happened, I feel like women have gotten to a place, and it's not everybody, but some women have gotten to a place where they're like, fuck it, like
yeah,
they're gonna be on some rough stuff, and they're on some
yeah,
like they ain't gonna tolerate it, or they're gonna let it be known how it is, and just like of course, I
yeah.
don't.
I think it'll be like if the roles were reversed and women was the ones that's being aggressive and hollering, trying to holler at the dude. They guys will feel like awkward. It'll be like, what the hell? Like, especially if the man doesn't feel attractive to the girl that's trying to, hit on him, and then she's continuously hitting on him. He will feel some type of way. He will feel awkward and feel just like not in a good place. You know what I mean? So yeah, you got to think of it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're doing that to a woman, imagine if a woman that you don't like, that you don't find attractive, doing that to you and keep constantly trying to hit on you and get your number and all that. You will feel like yeah, like awkward and just not like out of place, So yeah, you got to think of it that way.
Oh, that's a good. You see, you definitely brought up a good point because I forgot all about that too. But you're absolutely right. Because I feel like it's so true. Because I've seen it of like you said, if it's a person who's not attractive and they're just kind of like, why is she talking to me? Or
Yeah,
or they'll probably be like, oh, this ugly bee or something, or to the
yeah,
point of like where the friend is be like, oh, why do I gotta get the ugly friend? You know what I mean? Or like, so it will be
yeah,
that type of stuff. So you see, it's like, and a way I know it's like they know how we feel. Like it's just like if the fact that you feel like that when you see a female, knowing that you're not attracted to her and you wouldn't like her, and
mm,
now they got you either trying to throw her off on you or she's trying to talk to you or do something and you don't like it. So then in my head it's like, yo, it applies to women as well, vice versa. We just don't like it. If you don't like it, why would we like it? Where in the world does that work? If I don't like it, if you don't like it, why would I like it?
yeah, yeah,
I don't understand that part.
yeah. You're absolutely right. And like I said, us guys don't think that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like some guys, I'm gonna say a real small percentage of guys actually care about what the girl thinks and feels and her opinions. Some guys is just like, fuck it. I'm just trying to pick her up, get her number, get some ass, and then probably not see her anymore. You know what I mean? And it's sad that it's like that, but that's just unfortunately that's how it is. So
Right. And then it's just like before I end, but I'm just thinking like it's hard because in my head it's like what kind of advice can we actually even give like women or just females in general, because it's kind of like how do we protect ourselves when we outside? You know what I mean? Like what
yeah,
advice can we really give? Because I remember I saw somebody's video where it was kind of like he said, say thank you, smile, keep it moving. And then he was like, no, don't smile. He was like, forget that. Or, say thank you and just keep it moving. It's just like, what will be okay to do and what not to do? Because again, sometimes if you don't speak, it's a problem. But that's like
mm,
I was saying, right? And if you do speak, then it's kind of like, okay, are they, or they want to assume. And it's just like, where is the how can we just like, and then it'd be crazy because then in my mind it's like what if a woman then all of a sudden once they start doing that and then she decides to become the catcall or the aggressive one, and then but then I'm thinking like would the person actually like it? Would they look at her kind of like, would that scare them off? I have no idea, but it's kind of hard
yeah,
because
it
and
is.
how can we really protect ourselves and just kind of, it's just hard when I think about it because
Yeah, yeah. I know it is. I know it's hard for y'all. I know it's dangerous and scary. It is. And I wish that things were different for y'all women, but like you said, it's been going on for so long. Like guys been doing this for so long, and it's sad that some men lose themselves and just go violent towards women because she rejected them and all that. And I know plenty of instances that happened. I knew a girl that woman that I know. Her sister got killed by a guy that was like stalking her because she rejected him. He got mad and killed her and put her in her house, me in his house, and kept the body until somebody eventually found out that was him.
oh
So
my
yeah,
god.
yeah. This happened a couple of years ago, but yeah, it's really scary, like that, and I know rejection isn't good, and it's not a good feeling towards men, towards anybody. But at the same time, you got to think about it. It's like, hey, if you feel like you need to hurt this woman or get back at this woman, because your feelings were hurt, then no, your priority was all jacked up. You know what I'm saying? You really do need to speak to somebody. You need to talk to a counselor or a therapist because that's not a good state of mind that you're in. That you need to inflict violence or harm on a woman that that doesn't even know you. You know, so
Right. And I think it also needs to start from young, having these conversations. Because I'm trying to think, did I ever have these conversations with my kids? Because my son right now be acting like he's like he's the Mac Daddy of the Mac Daddies. Because when he be telling me stuff, and I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, but I think also I think yeah, I think it would be better to start them off at a young age of having them to learn and understand. Like what I was
yeah,
saying, like we're not for everybody, you
mhm.
know. And I think if it starts from a young age, I don't know if that will make things a little bit better and just kind of,
I think
you
it
know what
will.
I mean?
I think it will.
Of having the conversation of like, as you're growing up, you might change, you might look different,
Mhm.
um, you might like someone, and you go ahead and you take that step of wanting to talk to them because even in school, same thing happened.
Yeah,
The only mistake I made was having somebody else talk for me, and
uh,
then that made it awkward because
mhm.
I know there was instances where other people would speak for me, and I don't know what they were telling the other person, and all I would see is like a change of face, and I'm kind of like, damn, what did they say? And
Yeah,
then next thing you know, I'm being told something, or it's just like, that's crazy because that's not, you know what I mean? That's not how I was looking because again, I didn't take the time to be the one to think, like, I was shy. Like,
yeah,
I couldn't see myself approaching someone, even if it looked like, they looked like they were interested because they were smiling at me. But again, I had somebody else do it. And then I kind of felt
mhm.
embarrassed because I was like, I never bothered. And it's funny because I never bothered to be like, what did so and so say to you? That,
Yeah,
because I know I didn't say anything crazy. I probably did say, like, maybe I did like them or I thought they were cute or I was interested. And again, I don't know what was said, but it's happened before, like
yeah.
in middle school and high school,
Oh yeah, of
where
course.
I'm kind of like, so again, all these type of things like conversations, and I think need to happen when you're young too, because it happens. Yeah, you go
Yeah.
through it as well. So,
Oh yeah,
and I
most
guess
definitely.
right, and I think we need to have that conversation that you are gonna have some type of feelings. You're gonna be hurt. You're gonna feel some type of way, and it's okay. Because I feel like a lot of people always say that, like, it's okay to have your feelings. It's okay to feel a certain way. I feel like all these things, like the word is okay. It's okay to feel how you feel. Your
Yeah,
feelings are, about like your feelings being validated. It's okay to feel a certain way. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Nobody say you can't feel like that. You can't feel happy. You can't feel sad. Nobody never said. I mean, people. I might say that, but I feel like people are assholes and they would say you shouldn't. But I
yeah,
feel like no, you should be able to feel. You should be able to go through your emotions, go through it. But again, I always say things like certain things are not the end of the world.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's just not. I mean, we've all gone through it. I've gone through it. We're still here, and the life just keeps going. It's just like that's it. You might have that embarrassing moment, and
yeah,
that's it. Now, unless you're on TV on a reality show, then the whole world's watching it. Then hey, these
yeah,
are
yeah,
the moments. Yeah, these are the only moments where you're just kind of like, yeah, like the whole world.
yeah. That
It's
that'll be different. Yeah,
you, But other than that, it's like still, it is what it is. We should be able to express ourselves, feel any type of way. But yeah, like I said, we should be able to go through those emotions,
mm,
but never to that extent. Never to wanting to harm someone, never to wanting to grope or violate someone. I think
mm,
that's where it's kind of like, yeah, nah, you're going a little bit too far. So,
exactly. Yep.
but thank you for bringing up those points because at first I was just kind of like every time you would say something, I was like, yeah, you know what, that makes sense and it's true. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, because there's a lot of things we really don't think about, and it
Yeah,
just yeah. So
exactly. And then like another thing is like, what if those guys that did the same thing have a daughter and something happened where the daughter was you know, being I lost my train of thought. The daughter was being talked to like that and roped and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because you did that, and now somebody's doing that to your daughter. You know what I'm saying, or your sister, or anybody else in your family. You will feel a certain type of way. You know what I mean? So if anybody did that to my daughter when she's of age, I'm gonna be furious. You know what I mean? So you gotta put that in your mindset for us guys to be like, yeah, treat women with respect. Like if you want treat women how you will want your mother to be treated, how you want your sister, your daughter. You know what I mean? You got to treat them with respect.
And it's
So
funny because I do believe what you just said is true. I know that the person who's probably doing that would be mad if somebody else did that to one of their like female family members. Because
yeah,
that's funny about people. It's just like they people. That's what I would be saying. People could do whatever they want. Everybody could do whatever they want. But the minute you do something, oh no, that's
yeah,
wrong. Like how dare you? But let everybody else do whatever they want, and it's okay. But don't you do that. So I just know that the other person will be mad, and you're just kind of like, yo, you be just doing that yourself too. So why?
exactly.
Like, what difference does it make? That means you gotta do better. You gotta stop. But um, yeah, I'm about to like wrap up. But like I said, I feel like I don't know how this is ever gonna change. Like I said, this has been going on for years and centuries and everything like that. So I think it's just more about us women just being more cautious, having to be careful, and especially for the fact of what you said about the lady, because I think I've heard that story, um that the guy killed her and then he had her, because there are people who would do something like that of can we say like mental issues of like wanting to have someone and they'll keep their body because, and you're just like, oh, this is kind of, yeah, this is a little bit extreme.
Exactly.
So for I would look at that person like there's some sort of mental issues going on, because again, like that's just taking it too far to to a point you want to stalk somebody and then try to kill them because you got
Yeah,
rejected. But that's sad. Yeah, I think it really does. Now when I'm thinking about it, like I said, it really does have to start from when it's young. But again, if people don't have that support system, or they don't have those parents that are thinking like that, or those parents who are not thinking like, oh man, I gotta have this conversation because this is the way the world is. I don't really think that some people out there don't really are not thinking about that. Some people, parents, some just don't care. And then again, these are gonna be the these have been or could be um the men who are going to be out there in the world still continuing to do stuff, because again, nobody's having a conversation and nobody's trying to tell them like, look, there's a place where you can go have this conversation about how you feel, and it's okay. I'm gonna say it again, it's okay to be rejected. It is what it is. I've been rejected. Does that mean, again, do I have to go on a rampage? Do I have to go out there attacking these men? Do I come back later on? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you see how it sounds when you really like get to the point you're saying things out loud? Like, do I really have to go now and look for someone because they rejected me and now I want to go beat them up, or let me just go stalk them because they rejected me and now I have to like follow them to see what they're, you know what I mean? Like, you have, when you hear those things out loud, you're kind of like, that's extreme. That's just kind
yeah.
of,
Mhm.
that would be a lot to do all that to really get to that point. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
like I said, I feel like I've seen ladies, and again, it's not, it's a few ladies that who would act a certain way, and it's not a lot, but there's a few of them out there who probably would act a certain way, but I still don't think to that level. You know what I mean? Not to that extreme, but I feel like they would probably do something else, but um, it wouldn't be that. But
Yeah.
as usual, yeah, thank you for being here because, like I said, I wanted to get that male perspective, and I'm hoping that once this because it should be live and it'll be on my page, I would love people to comment, just how you feel, or because I think you already said it anyway. It has to do with like ego, pride, and all the other stuff that I said, because other than that, it just, certain things just don't, it just doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
other than that, I want to say thank you again for coming on.
No problem.
um I want to say good night to everyone. Thank you for watching, listening, And I think I'll be on again next Tuesday for my next topic, and I think that one has to do with health. And with, like as always, is live life to the fullest, enjoy, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. That's where I've been in my life, of like that type of um frame of mind. But other than that, like I said, all right. Good night, everyone. Bye.